disruption and uncertainty and his erratic approach is all part of his modus operandi. It's a feature, not a bug.
Is it just me, or does it seem that other countries' world leaders are more blunt and upfront in condemning Trump with a full chest than our own?
When you see Trump with Putin, as I have on a few occasions, he's like the 12-year-old boy that goes to high school and meets the captain of the football team.
First Minister offered congratulations to the convicted felon Donald Trump.
Trump's election victory has caused a media and political tsunami, with many grappling with what the future will look like under his second reign, especially with the people he's putting forward to work around him. But in response, there have been many leaders across the world who voiced not only their concern regarding Trump as a person
on his re-election. Writing officially on behalf of the Scottish Government, he wrote that he is sure Scotland's cultural and social ties with the US will flourish during the presidency of a misogynist, a climate denier, a fraudster, a conspiracy monger, a racist, a far-right politician who tried to overturn an election result both covertly and by inciting violence. Words fail me. What social and cultural ties does the First Minister really think will benefit from a relationship with such a man?
How his tariff plan could spark a trade war?
Au fond, moi je trouve que notre rôle ici, au sein de l'Union européenne, c'est pas de commenter l'élection de Donald Trump, savoir si c'est bon ou pas bon. Il a été élu par le peuple américain et il va défendre l'intérêt des Américains. Et c'est légitime et c'est une bonne chose. La question, c'est est-ce que nous, on est prêt à défendre l'intérêt des Européens? C'est la seule question qui nous...
I'm grateful for the Prime Minister's comments on Ukraine. But Donald Trump has also said that trade wars are good. He calls himself tariff man. People are really worried that Trump trade wars and tariff will damage our economy, damage businesses, and hit the cost of living here in the UK. So, given this, does the Prime Minister recognise that it's more urgent than ever that we support our British economy by getting rid of the damaging trade barriers with Europe put in place by the Conservatives?
Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, as you will know, we put the economy centrepiece to our budget, and we will do everything that we need to do to ensure our economy grows, and that's measured in living standards going up for working people across the country.
But his affliction for dictators, none more so than Vladimir Putin, who, according to Trump's own Republican colleagues, is doing the exact opposite of what Trump said he would do. According to US Representative Michael McCall, Russian President Vladimir Putin failed to heed advice from President-elect Donald Trump, who urged the strongman to de-escalate the war with Ukraine. He told John Herbst, the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center senior director, that Putin evidently did not listen to Trump's request since recently testing new intermediate range missiles in a strike on Ukraine. Now, if anyone has listened to how Donald Trump talks about the Russian dictator, this should come as, well, no surprise at all.
NATO was busted until I came along. I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, well, if we don't pay, are you still going to protect us? I said, absolutely not. They couldn't believe the answer. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
Hence why these words from former Australia Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull have since resurfaced, where he described witnessing Trump's childlike enthusiasm when in Putin's presence.
When you see Trump with Putin, as I have on a few occasions, he's like the 12-year-old boy that goes to high school and meets the captain of the football team. My hero. It is really creepy. It's really creepy. Now,
and that struck you at the time?
Oh, absolutely. It struck everybody. It was like when you could touch it. It was creepy. The creepiness was palpable.
Are you trying to say they're having a bromance?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just telling you what I saw. Regrettably, the Republican Party under Donald Trump, and particularly the right wing of the Republican Party, are very sympathetic to Vladimir Putin. I mean, I've been with Trump and Putin. Trump is in awe of Putin. Tyrants are often popular. You see, the key to democracy, liberal democracy, is that it empowers the majority, but it also, through the rule of law, constrains the majority. And if you get to the point where anybody who can muster a majority, and I don't think Trump can do that, by the way, but anyone who can muster a majority is given absolute power and then can do whatever they like to the minority, that's not a democracy. That is a tyranny. That is an autocracy, even if it's got the support of 51% of the population. That is not what makes a democracy. A democracy, as we understand it, is one where the rule of law protects all citizens. Law applies to all citizens, whether they're the president or the prime minister or an ordinary, elector.
Warning that, it would only get worse if he was to get elected again, which we know he did.
He's different to any other US president we've had to deal with. And his disruption and uncertainty and his erratic approach is all part of his modus operandi. It's a feature, not a bug, of Donald Trump's approach to international affairs. So, yes, we are going to have to live through 4 years of greater uncertainty. And look, I suppose I'm trying to, be as balanced as I can here. Not everything Trump says, just because Trump says something doesn't mean it's wrong. And, he has been right to say that allies should lift their game and invest more in their defence. But on the other hand, if he creates the impression that America cannot be relied on or can't be counted on, all that does is encourage and empower our adversaries like Vladimir Putin, like Xi Jinping. And it also, if America is seen as being uncertain or unreliable, it will also encourage countries that are in the middle, if you like, that are not totally rusted on allies like the UK or Australia or most of the NATO members. It'll encourage other countries to hedge and perhaps move closer to our adversaries. So, there's no question from the international community's point of view, stability, certainty, predictability is a plus, but that is not part of Donald Trump's brand or his MO.
So as leaders in the US and those in the political media landscape outside of the Midas Mighty, of course, grapple with how to cover the former president.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years. Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
How about we take a leaf out of this guy's book?
Mr. Prime Minister, do you believe Donald Trump views Vladimir Putin as an adversary?
Well, he's certainly fascinated by Putin. There's everyone, I've observed that. Everybody has observed that. So many people have commented on it. I don't think he views Putin as adversary in the same way that most of the intelligence community and defense security establishment in the United States does, to be honest. But he has a fascination with Putin. He has a fascination with other strongmen. The New York Times is right in their headline when they said America has chosen a strongman. And so Trump too admires in many respects, is attracted to Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin above all, even Kim Jong-un, for heaven's sake. What an unlikely pen pal that Trump would talk about exchanging love letters with this guy. So he's very different. So I'm saying he's a very different president, and other leaders have got to be prepared to stand their ground. Look, my point in essence, my advice to other leaders, I'm a former leader, obviously, is that the best service they can give America as a friend of America is their candor and courage and conviction in dealing with Trump. If all you do is tell Trump what he wants to hear, and suck up to him, which is what a lot of people are inclined to do, you're not going to be doing your own country a service, let alone the United States, because Trump will be surrounded by yes men and sycophants inevitably.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the Midas Touch newsletter at MidasTouch.com/newsletter.